Hello. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am your friendly neighborhood Canadian, Reed. This is my YouTube channel. This is a Saints hat. Awesome. Love the Saints. That is Jenna Jameson, one of the most popular and well-known adult film stars of all time. And usually she's very good at roasting trolls on Twitter. It's very awesome. This is my... It's like, do I look at the screen or do I look at the camera? Do I look at the screen or do I look at the camera? Amateur, yes. That's why I get the big bucks. No. That's why I've got the hundreds of subscribers. No. This is just for, like as Austin Powers would say, shits and giggles. This is a quick video about my thoughts on pop culture in the last couple months, because I have been really neglecting my YouTube. I spend a lot of my time on Twitter. I spend a lot of my time taking naps. And for someone who has quit the job I worked at for over 3 years, I've mysteriously returned there 4 times to help them. I'm a Pisces. You either love me or hate me, depending on where you are in your life and where I am in my life. Right now, I'm a pretty decent, good, fun-loving, natured guy. Until I get worked up about certain pop culture things, which we're going to go into in this lovely video I call Pop Culture News Roundup Election Day Special? Sure. To some of you who follow my YouTube channel, who actually know who I am, maybe we've worked together, maybe we're actually friends, maybe we're not friends anymore, we're just social media friends because you are obviously too busy. Fuck. Yeah, that's another story. I made some notes because this is all on the fly, this is all random. Okay, so, quickly, some pop culture thoughts from me, your Canadian, friendly neighborhood Canadian, Mr. Reed. TV shows, let's start there. The Boys. I don't think I've done a YouTube video talking about the Amazon Prime, Seth Rogen produced TV show, The Boys, which I watched in August? Did I watch that in August? I don't even remember. End of July it premiered. And then I was in Lac La Biche. Right. Because I watched that show with my friend Devin. Right. It's all coming back to me now. Just like Celine Dion. I love The Boys. I collected the comic. I've said to people within earshot over the last 12 years, 14 years, that The Boys is the best comic book I've read in the last 15, 20 years, man. I loved it. Garth Ennis, Derek Robertson, and the TV series, season 1, did not disappoint. It was amazing, it was entertaining, it was adult, it was graphic, it was hardcore, it was awesome. It changed a couple things from the comic book, which is fine. That's usually how it goes when a comic book is turned into a TV show or a movie, as we all well know. Walking Dead really ruined that. I love The Boys. So I love season 1. Yeah, and I can't wait for season 2. I'm glad it's getting record ratings. I'm glad people are enjoying it. And it takes a really good spin on superhero pop culture phenomenon that is the MCU, really. I mean, not that The Boys makes fun of the MCU, obviously. The Boys began in like 2005, 2006. That was a long time ago, before Iron Man and yada yada yada, but it took an interesting take on what if superheroes were real. So The Boys was awesome. If you haven't watched it, look it up. And if you can look for the trade paperbacks, I would recommend it. As an old school comic book fan, as a kid reading comics, and then throughout my 20s and early 30s, diving back into comics when I could. I love The Boys. I thought it was a great series of comics. So I loved it. Titans Season 2. Haven't watched Titans Season 2. If you're Canadian and you live in Canada, DC Universe, the streaming service, pretty much hates your guts. So because we're Canadian and not American, I have to wait for Titans Season 2 to come on Netflix, Canadian Netflix. And that usually takes about 3 months after Titans is finished its run on DC Universe in the United States. So I can't wait for Titans Season 2. I loved Season 1 of Titans. I thought it was one of the best things that's ever come out of a DC branded type of medium that I've ever seen. Seriously. Titans was so good. And as someone who collected the New Teen Titans as a kid, Marv Wolfman, George Perez, I grew up on that. I grew up on the many different incarnations of the New Teen Titans, Titans, New Titans, yada, yada, yada. Nightwing is my favorite superhero of all time. George Perez is my favorite penciler of all time, artist. Marv Wolfman, I think, is the best comic book writer of all time. They created Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is going to be a huge crossover in the CW Arrowverse coming this winter. So I can't wait for Titan Season 2 with Deathstroke, with Jericho. There's going to be so much good stuff. I can't wait. I hope it's really good, and I hope they keep doing it, because DC needs as much good news as it can get. Walking Dead. I was a huge Walking Dead guy. I'm not anymore. I'm really not. It's funny. I care very little about The Walking Dead. It used to be must-watch TV. It used to be must-watch Sunday night television. I started watching the show when it began, way before it became popular, because of Frank Darabont. I didn't know what The Walking Dead was, didn't realize it was a comic, yada, yada, yada. I've done a whole bunch of YouTube videos about it on awful camera angles and bad sound. I don't give two S's about The Walking Dead anymore, and that sucks. I'm going to buy Season 9 on Blu-ray in the next couple weeks. It's on Netflix right now. I watched most of last season. I didn't watch it all. And Season 10 is already into the 4th episode, I think. Yeah, I will watch it eventually. And that sucks, because Walking Dead used to be must-watch TV for me for 7 years. Up until I came to Lac La Biche. And that was just because Lac La Biche problems. But, yeah. Walking Dead, man. Used to be one of my favorite TV shows to watch. That and Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was still must-watch TV. Even the last season, I loved it, even though people had problems with it. Whatever. People bitch and complain all the time now. No one's happy. No one's satisfied. No one likes living in the world we live in with all the entertainment and the glory of riches we have right now. If you're a pop culture superhero guy like me, like, we are spoiled. If this version of me could go back to, like, 15-year-old me and be like, there's an Ant-Man movie coming. There's going to be 2 Ant-Man movies. Thor. There's a Suicide Squad movie. Like, there's going to be a Joker solo movie. Like, 15-year-old me would be like, Future Reed is crazy. Future Reed is, like, high on crack. So yeah, Walking Dead Season 10. I don't know. Are you watching it? Is it good? Did they do another time jump? Are they using Negan? They need to cut and kill half the cast of that show. There's too many characters on that show. The writers of The Walking Dead don't know how to write. They can't write a show with that many characters. And people on Twitter were like, oh, but the Whisperers killed a lot of people at the end of last season. They killed a lot of useless characters. Let's be honest. The Walking Dead should follow the comic, the source material, and do their best. But you get rid of Rick, you get rid of Carl. Ugh. Anyway, I'm pro Negan. I love Negan. Yeah, and I think The Whisperers was a cool comic book storyline. and it looked pretty cool so far on the TV show. Alpha, beta, all that stuff. Who knows? Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. What other TV stuff was there? They're keep announcing new cast members for The Stand. They're remaking The Stand. Stephen King's one of his most popular and epic books. There was a TV series on ABC back in the early 90s. I want to say 93, 94. It came out. It was a 4-part miniseries. I own it on DVD. It's one of my favorite guilty pleasures now because over time it doesn't stand up. Special effects and blah, blah, blah. But it had a great cast and I still enjoy it. But anyway, they're remaking The Stand. It's going to be great. It's going to be on a CBS streaming service. So I don't know what that means for Canada. I guess I'll figure it out next year. Is that for TV? I wanted to try to be a little bit more organized than I usually am because I'm not. So that was my TV. Okay, quick movie stuff. Saw It Chapter 2. I don't know if I did a YouTube video about that. I loved it. I didn't realize it was almost 3 hours. Didn't know that at all. Was expecting it to be about 2 hours and 15 minutes, like the first one. Wasn't expecting it to be almost 3 hours long. At times it feels like it's a long movie, but I like long movies. Like I'm like Dances with Wolves extended cut, Return of the King extended cut, all the Lord of the Rings extended cuts. I'm all about that. But It Chapter 2 overall was really good. I enjoyed it. Not as good as the first, but the adult cast was awesome, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Saw Joker. I remember I did a video almost over Halloween last year, I guess a year ago now, where I was like, I'm not too excited about the Joker. I wasn't sold on Joaquin Phoenix. I wasn't sold on Todd Phillips being the director. Pleasantly surprised. I went into the Joker not expecting much, clear mind, no expectations, and I came out of that movie rating it 9 out of 10 stars. I thought it was one of the best pieces of cinema, Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, cinema that I've seen in a couple years. Like, the Joker, I would put that on a cinematic level as like Blade Runner 2049. I really enjoyed Joker. If there's people out there for some reason thinking Joker was going to be a happy-go-lucky funny movie, you don't know who the Joker is and you need to use Google search better. It wasn't going to be a happy-go-lucky enjoyable movie. The Joker is Batman's arch-villain and one of the most sadistic killers in the DC comic book universe. And we've seen him portrayed very well over the years in movies and in TV. So anyway, I'm glad the Joker's making a shit ton of money. It was very good, very well directed, has one of the best scores in a movie I've heard in years. Seriously, the score for Joker is amazing. So I highly recommend Joker. It's not a movie you're going to watch every month. Like, it's an intense movie. It's not overly violent, but it's intense and there's a lot of stuff going on. I think, in my opinion, Joker's a movie I'd maybe watch twice a year once I own it. But I've really enjoyed it, and I'm glad it's making so much money. And more good news for DC, because they need it, because Zack Snyder's an idiot, and he pretty much ruined the DC Cinematic Universe. And if you're one of those release the Snyder cut tards, we're going to have a discussion one day, and you're not going to like it. Saw Zombieland 2 the other night. Really enjoyable. Really good sequel. It sucks we waited 10 years for it. Hollywood's weird. Why wouldn't you make a Zombieland 2 like 5 years ago? And then this could be Zombieland 3 or Zombieland 4 if they wanted to go that way. It's weird when they just don't make sequels for some unknown reason. And in case you didn't know, the director of Zombieland and Zombieland 2 also directed Venom. There you go. So anyway, Zombieland 2, double tap, really enjoyable. Worth waiting 10 years for. Pretty much the exact same movie again. Little twists, better entertaining, some cool little things. Really enjoyed it. It was nice to see Jesse Eisenberg in a movie where you didn't hate him, i.e. Lex Luthor, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Zack Snyder. You're an idiot. Ugh. A couple movies coming that I have zero interest in. Terminator Dark Fate. How many times do I need to say it? Does anyone need to say it? Can we trade 4 Avatar sequels for 1 good Terminator sequel? James Cameron being the producer. Yeah, that's nice. Wasn't he a producer on Genesis? Didn't James Cameron say Genesis was a really good movie and then changed his mind? Fuck. I don't care about Terminator Dark Fate. Sorry, Devin. You're out to lunch on that. Because I was in the movie theater for Zombieland 2, saw a trailer for Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life. That movie's waited 17 years, 18 years for a sequel. Will Smith is still Will Smith. Martin Lawrence has put on a lot of weight. Has Martin Lawrence even done anything in 15 years? Really? Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life? Really? Anyway, zero interest. The first Bad Boys was good for 1995. Michael Bay. Bad Boys 3, you're like, I wish Michael Bay directed that. That is all you need to say about Bad Boys 3, really. Michael Bay isn't directing it, so it's gonna suck. Ugh. Because Michael Bay doesn't usually make good movies. I mean, he doesn't make good Transformer movies, obviously, except for the first one and maybe the third one. But you're doing a Bad Boys movie and Michael Bay isn't directing it? That's weak sauce. Weak sauce. Hashtag weak sauce. Trailer for Birds of Prey, The Emancipation of Harley Quinn. Yeah, looked alright. Yeah, that's about it. I hope it's really good. I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I'm excited about some of the casting choices for Black Canary and the Huntress. I hope they're not lost in the background. And yeah. Oh, the Suicide Squad is filming. James Gunn, is working on that. That's awesome. I think he's going to do wonderful things. And I think James Gunn has the potential to be the savior of the DC Marvel fandom group, of being the bridge that, yes, you can like DC and yes, you can like Marvel. DC's better and superior on many levels. It's a fact. But Marvel's pretty good. Yes, Marvel is owning it according to box office and the number of movies and having a plan, because DC Time Warner had zero plan and Zack Snyder tried to do too much and yada yada yada. That's a whole other video. But James Gunn could be the savior, the saving grace. He could be the bridge over troubled waters between Marvel fans and DC fans. And when he's done filming The Suicide Squad, he's going to make Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And that should be amazing. And that will be part of Marvel Phase 4. So, let's hope he does a good job. Let's be pro James Gunn, pro DC, Marvel, liking both. Obviously, Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame are 2 of the best superhero movies ever made. Right behind The Dark Knight. There you go. What else? I just wanted to quickly check my little list. I mentioned the Joker was really good. Joaquin Phoenix was really good. Yeah, I think I covered pretty much everything. Today, I'm recording this video on an election day in Canada, as my Twitter's going off. It's October 21st. The Liberals are Justin Trudeau. They are forming a minority government, apparently, even though Justin Trudeau apparently is a racist and thinks dressing up as black people is funny over and over again. But he's going to bring down cell phone bills, which most of you care about. Cell phone bills. Remember last election, all you guys cared about was pot, legalizing pot, and then the government's like, okay, we legalized pot, now we're going to tax it, now we're going to regulate it. So, there you go. Cell phone bills are coming down. Listen, Andrew Scheer, awful choice. Horrible. And dual citizenship. Why don't you go to the States and, yeah. Anyway, Andrew Scheer was the wrong person to be the conservative figurehead. Conservatives might have had a better chance. That's all I'm going to say about that. And the New Democratic Party died with Jack Layton. So there you go. But there was also a big news day today, October 21st, 2019. Mark it down on your calendar, because of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker full trailer finally was released 2 months before the movie. Suspicious. Star Wars is in damage control. Disney is in damage control because Rian Johnson screwed up The Last Jedi for lots of reasons. That's a whole other video. Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. It is. It is. It just is. When you put a PC agenda in a Star Wars movie where it doesn't need to be there, like Rose, the character of Rose, are you kidding me? Come on. Why was she in The Last Jedi? What was her purpose? Tell me. Thank you. Boom. That's why The Last Jedi sucks, amongst other reasons. Yes, it's a 5-star movie out of 10 because it's Star Wars. It looks amazing. The sound was good. The visual effects were good. Some of the stuff looked amazing, but the story was awful. And why are they even fighting the First Order? Why? Why is the First Order bad? Can anyone explain it to me? You're a Star Wars fan? You're a big Star Wars fan? Explain to me why the First Order is bad. I'll wait. That's a whole other video. Rolling Stones came out with a list of the top 100 singers. It's a horrible list. It's horrible. It's like all the old white people in the United States of America who are afraid of women, afraid of women's bodies, afraid of women enjoying sex, even though all the old white men in America who are racist are paying women for sex and blackmailing them for sex. All these old white men have an issue, even though America is the porn capital of the world. See, this is why I take lots of naps. And then Francis Ford Coppola, do you know who he is? That's okay. Most people don't nowadays because time marches on. If you were like, yeah, Francis Ford Coppola, didn't he direct that Robin Williams movie, Jack? Yeah, in 1996. Most people don't know who Francis Ford Coppola is. Why would you? You're on Twitter. You're on Facebook. You're on your phone in the movie instead of watching the movie. You're on your phone in the mall instead of paying attention to your girlfriend. Do you know who Francis Ford Coppola is? No. So why do you care if he doesn't like Marvel movies? If he thinks Marvel cinematic movies are despicable and awful, just like Martin Scorsese, at least you have an idea of who he is because of The Departed. Yeah, another old white guy, mad, screaming because superhero movies are saving and have saved the movie industry for years and years because Hollywood can't come up with original ideas anymore. I'm sorry, I just saw a trailer for Charlie's Angels, another remake. Are you kidding? And then they want to make a Training Day prequel. They want to make a Gladiator prequel. Come on. I don't care if all these movies might be Mark's favorite movies coming soon, who I'm also mad at. Like, Hollywood has zero inspiration of original thought. So superhero movies that have such a rich history of all these stories to delve from are taking over the movie industry. And if Hollywood isn't going to come up with original movie ideas, then they should shut up. Because until Hollywood, except for Christopher Nolan and Denis Villeneuve, those are the only two original filmmakers in Hollywood right now, Hollywood can shut up. Francis Ford Coppola, the director of The Cotton Club, old school there for ya, can shut up. And Martin Scorsese, half the movie he makes is the same movie over and over again. He's not a genius. He's lazy. Anyway, that's me. I'm Reed, Pop Culture. Thank you for watching. More videos coming, specific videos, Star Wars, the Rolling Stone list. Who knows what else I'm going to do. It's going to be crazy. My hockey video is coming up. It's going to be amazing. Subscribe, tell a friend, make a nice comment. Be nice to Meow Meows. Be nice to Woof Woofs. Have a great day. Cheers. Canada rules.